well, since you're bleeding, I want to know what's going on. So I was like, okay. I've never had a doctor do the ultrasound. It's always like the ultrasound tech, you know. She checked and she's like, I don't see anything. There's nothing there. She's like, you're either really early in your pregnancy or you're having or had a miscarriage. At this point, it's in God's hand. Alright, hey guys, it's me, Mari. Welcome back to my channel. Today is August 7th. I am on my way to drop off my son to my niece's house so she can watch him while I go to my doctor's appointment. Anyways, so if you already saw my other video, you would know that I'm pregnant. Baby number 2, okay? So if you saw that video, you know that I was spotting like before I found out that I was pregnant. I spotted like 2 weeks here and there before I found out I was pregnant. And then when I found out I was pregnant, I was spotting a little bit, and then I didn't stop. It just comes and goes, okay? But TMI, if you don't want to hear health stuff, like just skip forward. But the color of the spotting was like brown. The only thing I can compare this to is my previous pregnancy. I spotted pretty much the whole pregnancy because I did have the subchorionic hematoma. So with this pregnancy, like I said, I've been spotting before I found out I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant and I was spotting, and it just comes and goes. It's whatever, the same color, light brown or pinkish. But a couple of days ago, I was spotting like red, like bright red blood. So I was like really scared, and like I spotted pretty much like the whole day like that. And I was like, okay, like what's going on? You know, obviously I'm so early in my pregnancy, so I don't know. You know, I'm just worried for the worst pretty much, right? So I was like, should I go to the ER? Like, I don't know. And the only thing I thought about doing was, let me call my doctor's office and see if they'll take me. If they'll take me, and all I could do is ask. So I sent them a message to the portal, and I told them what was going on. And then the girl messaged, she called me the next day, and she's like, hey, like, I got your message. I have a cancellation, like, in 2 days. Do you want to come? And I said, yes. And I asked her, like, are you going to do an ultrasound? She's like, I don't know. She's like, we're basically just going to confirm the pregnancy, but I'll put a note here of what's going on, and then they'll probably send you in for an ultrasound. And that's kind of what happened last time. Again, comparing it to my first pregnancy. When I went to confirm my pregnancy, I was in a lot of pain, okay? I was cramping really bad. My back hurt really bad on one side, and I was spotting. So those are kind of signs like of an ectopic pregnancy. So they sent me for an ultrasound that same day. So thankfully it was fine. My embryo was where it was supposed to be, and they did see the subchorionic hematoma. And when I went to that ultrasound, they found out I was like 2 weeks later than what they thought I was based on my period. So I'm kind of wondering if that's what's happening this time around, because according to the app, I would be like 6 weeks and some days today, if not already 7 weeks. And I didn't have my appointment scheduled to August 20th for confirming the pregnancy, but since I called, they are taking me today, right? So I'm like a week and a half before they wanted to see me. Usually when you find out you're pregnant and you call the doctor, they won't see you till you're like 8 or 9 weeks. I know it sucks, but that's just how it is. But I'm getting seen a little earlier because of what's happening right now. So we'll see if I get an ultrasound today or not. But probably since I've been spotting, I'm gonna assume the answer is yes, but I feel like I'm way too early and there's not gonna be anything there. The first time I got an ultrasound, it was so early on that they could see tiny little thingy inside my uterus, but there was technically nothing there is what they were explaining it. I don't know how to explain it. Like the house of the baby was there, but the actual baby wasn't there. So I come back in 2 weeks to see if the baby actually grows, or if this is called a blighted ovum. Blighted ovum, and that's basically where your body's getting ready for a pregnancy, but nothing ever attaches, so then you just end up losing everything. Lots of information. I'm sorry, I'm like yapping. It's 12:40 right now. My appointment's at 1:35, I think. But like I said, I'm gonna go drop off my baby so that I can go to the appointment by myself. I was gonna take him with me, but I just feel like it's better if I go by myself and I don't have to worry like if they take too long, he's gonna get fussy. It's just like, can you just watch him real quick? Yes, thank you. Oh my god, it is hot AF. Alright guys, so it is way later now. It's almost 9 o'clock p.m. I'm over here at Church's Texas Chicken picking up food for my husband and I was just like thinking on the way here, like I should probably update you guys. I didn't think about, I was just sad, you know, but anyways, the appointment didn't go as planned. Well, I mean, the appointment went, okay, so this is what happened. I tested positive in my pregnancy test, just like I did at home. But the doctor was like, I'm gonna do an ultrasound. And I was like, oh, are you gonna do the ultrasound to like confirm pregnancy? And she's like, well, since you're bleeding, I wanna know what's going on. So I was like, okay. She checked me. She's like, you're not actively bleeding, so that's good. But she did still see some like brown discharge. She took me to the ultrasound room, and the doctor did the ultrasound herself. I've never had a doctor do the ultrasound. It's always like the ultrasound tech, you know? So she walked in the room and she's like, I was like, oh, you're gonna do the ultrasound? She's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool, because I thought I would have an answer right then and there, you know? She's like, I'm not the best at them, but if I can't see what's going on, then I'll send you to get like it done next door, which is where they have the actual ultrasound place. So she did the ultrasound. It was like transvaginally. They always do it like that when you're really early. She checked and she's like, I don't see anything. There's nothing there. She's like, you're either really early in your pregnancy or you're having or had a miscarriage. She was just like so nonchalant about it, no emotions, no nothing. And I get it. She's a doctor. She's gonna be like, she probably tells a bunch of people that, you know, so I can't expect her to feel for me, but I was just like, damn.
Welcome to Churches. Would you like to sign up for?
So basically what I was saying is that I felt like the doctor was very nonchalant about it. She was like, you're either really early or you had or are having a miscarriage. Any questions? And I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, no. And then I was like, no, wait, yes. She's like, I'm gonna order another ultrasound for you and then some blood work. And then she's like, I was like, when is the ultrasound gonna be? Like in 2 weeks? And she's like, no. She's like, probably within the next couple of days, because she wants to see if something happens. And then when she talked about the blood work, she's like, you know what? Or I might just track it with the blood work. She's like, we'll see how your blood comes back. She's like, if it's like, basically I assume she meant if it's not even high enough, she's just gonna track it with my blood levels. She's like, we'll get in contact with you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. So I was like, wow. So there's nothing on the ultrasound. So technically I'm not pregnant, but I'm testing positive, you know? So it's like, I don't know. Then I spent like 2 or 3 hours after I got home on TikTok, like looking up a bunch of like miscarriages. And I guess if this pregnancy doesn't go through, it's technically called a chemical pregnancy. And that's where your body does get pregnant, but the fetus doesn't, or the embryo doesn't implant, or it implants, but it doesn't like stick or whatever. So it just, you know, you lose the pregnancy. So before it even becomes anything, you lose it, and that's a chemical pregnancy. That we were gonna go to a game this weekend, so I was like, oh, I'm not gonna drink. But right now, since I'm like, oh, am I pregnant? Am I not pregnant? Technically, I'm not pregnant because she did an ultrasound. There's nothing inside of me. So I was like, well, I guess I can drink, right? So I got home and like I went on a walk with the baby and my stepson. I come home and I was like really hot, so I cracked open a White Claw and my husband's like, what are you drinking? I was like, a White Claw. He's like, why? And I was like, because I can. And he's like, you can't drink White Claws. But I had already told him what happened through text because he was on his way home, but we hadn't talked about it yet. So then I kind of like explained to him everything. He was really upset, and he took a shower and then he came back and he like laid down with me. I was sitting on the couch and, you know, he kind of like cuddled me, and I got sad seeing him sad because I feel like the doctor kind of just like brushed it off. So I was like, whatever about it, you know? But not at the same time, because I was like, we were already excited. Like I was already about to build my registry and rearrange the house for this new baby, yada, yada, yada. And my husband came and cuddled me. He's like, I really thought there was a baby in there. And then he started getting all sad, saying how he just hopes this doesn't mean that we're gonna struggle to have another baby. And I'm like, you know what, like, you're right. And like, I just try to be strong for him and tell him, like, we don't know until we find out, like, in a few days. Once I get the test results, I guess, from my blood, because if they're not, I assume she's gonna do like a series of them, because I guess that's what they do. They take one and then they take one 2 days later, because if you are pregnant, your numbers should duplicate. But if it goes down, then it means like your pregnancy is not gonna stick. I just don't want to like worry too much about it, and I think I'm just gonna like try to enjoy myself this weekend at the game and have fun, not get too crazy. But I don't know, we'll see what happens. It's just kind of sad because I was spotting in my other pregnancy and my baby was fine the whole pregnancy, right? But this spotting was different because I spotted a little bit and then like brown discharge, and then when I got really worried is when I was like bright red blood, you know? But it wasn't a lot. Like, you think when you have a miscarriage, it's like a trauma scene, like bloody mess. That's what I envision. But I feel like I barely bled anything. But I don't know, because I don't know. It's just so hard. So I guess we'll see, you guys. We will. I don't know. This is why, like, I feel like, oh God, my first pregnancy, I didn't take any videos. I didn't do anything because you never know what's gonna happen. And now for this one, I was all excited because in my head, I was like, you know what? I already had a pregnancy. I had a successful pregnancy before. So I'm like, this one's gonna be good, you know? But hey, it's just part of the journey, I guess. We don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, so as far as I know right now, I'm not pregnant. And the thing that sucks is that your urine could test like you are pregnant, from what I've heard and seen online, for like a week or two until your body releases the HCG hormone. So we'll see what happens. If I get an ultrasound and something's there, like, you know, good. At this point, it's in God's hands, whatever he wants. If he thinks we're ready for another baby, he will give us another baby. That's how I just want to look at things. Because yes, my baby is still young. He's 9 months old. So I'm like, maybe it's just not the right time for us, you know? But I don't want to like feel like I'm never going to be able to have another baby. I'm just trying to give myself grace and hope that when the time is right, God will give us a baby. And who knows? Maybe like the doctor said, maybe I am really really early. But deep down, I feel like that's not the case. I feel like I'm not pregnant. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. Let me know if you have any questions or if you've struggled through something similar. How I've been living without you.